California's economy is also under pressure following Friday's release of the state job report. The main takeaway from that report: California is hurting more than most. Total jobs continue to go down, having now declined every month in the first 3 months of this year. And with us now is Michael Bernick, special counsel at the law firm Duane Morris, as well as the former director of California's Employment Development Department. Michael, thank you so much for taking some time with us this Sunday evening.
Hey, Brian.
Let's start at the beginning. Why is California and the Bay Area specifically lagging behind the rest of the country?
Well, Brian, we've been having higher unemployment rates here in California, higher than the nation for some years. And of course, the numbers from Friday show our unemployment rate in California, 5.3%, well above the national rate of 4.2%. In fact, above nearly all other states other than Nevada and Michigan. And there are a couple reasons. One, a number of the structural factors that have built up over the years, the costs of doing business here, the empire of employment regulations we've developed, and more recently, budget deficits we're beginning to see in local and state government. So it's not certain immediate dynamics, though we are here in the Bay Area, we are seeing continual tech layoffs, but it's more, I would say, some of these structural factors concerning employment that have been built up over the past 2 decades.
Well, I'm just thinking I mean, maybe naively, I'm thinking those factors have always been around. It's always been stratospherically expensive to live here. But as you pointed out, California's unemployment rate was 5.3%. That's well above the national average. Are we hurting more than most simply because it's more expensive to live here, everything is pricier here, and companies are now going, let's head to Texas, let's head out of the country?
Well, that's part of the dynamic. Now, I will say that some of the factors, Brian, that are being pointed to now really haven't impacted. For example, the federal layoffs. We have 147,000 federal workers in California. That sounds like a large number. It is a large number, but it's less than 1% of our labor force. So it's really not the federal layoffs. It's much more, I think, the cutbacks in federal contracting. And the most of all, it's the uncertainty on the tariffs.
Oh, yeah, right. I was wondering how you're going to get around to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brian, it's not that we're seeing large-scale layoffs here in California. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't even seen, based on last week's data, particular increase in jobless numbers. What we are seeing, if you talk to California employers, is a hesitancy, a caution to make new hires, given the uncertainty of where the economy is going, given the uncertainty of investment. So it's not the layoffs we're seeing yet, but it's this pause on hiring, hiring freezes, putting hiring decisions in abeyance. That's the dynamic.
You alluded to the fact that, a lot of federal jobs are going away. These numbers don't really reflect the impact yet of a lot of these jobs being shed. Is it going to get even worse in the coming months, the numbers for California?
Well, you're right. The numbers we saw on Friday only go through the second week in March. The jobless claims that we saw on Thursday are more recent. But yes, I think as the uncertainty continues and hiring decisions are put on pause, we're likely, and if there's additional federal cutbacks in contracting and state and local cutbacks in contracting, I think we're beginning to see these numbers go up as they have.
Yeah,
Brian, we gained jobs on a constant basis between 2022 and 2024 at the end of last year. The first 3 months of this year, we've actually lost 50,000 jobs in the state.
Right. So all this is going to be placed in the lap of Gavin Newsome. So Gavin Newsome has made noise about, we're going to try to get California exempt from the tariffs. We're going to do everything to separate ourselves from what's happening in Washington. How is Newsome going to respond to these suddenly bad numbers about California, bad and probably growing worse?
Well, he hasn't called me, Brian, so I don't know.
Well,
but I will say, in terms of short term, as I mentioned at the start, these are long-term dynamics we've built up in California. So it's very hard to turn around in a short time. And I mean, the state budget deficit seems to have stabilized. But we have here in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, serious deficits. So tough thing to move. Hopefully, we'll get some clarity on the tariffs.
So fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Michael Bernick, sure appreciate your time, formerly with EDD. Thanks again, Michael.
Thank you, Ryan.
Andrea?
All right, well, thank you, Ryan.